Hi, and welcome to Alethea Morgan's Zombie Question and Explanations video for today. I'm going to be talking about some of my books, how I got started as an author, and where I see my zombie world going. I started writing about 2014 after my brother passed away. I realized life was a lot shorter than I thought it was. And I didn't really want to wait till retirement to start working on the stories that were in my head. So I did NaNoWriMo, which is 50,000 words in a month. It stands for National November Writing Month. And I got started actually writing thrillers instead of zombies. But I was an avid Walking Dead fan, and retrace that. I didn't watch The Walking Dead until about season 4. Then I did a binge and caught up, and after 2 or 3 days of watching straight zombies, I thought the world was a little strange with people walking around like they weren't worried about the zombies. I get really into my shows and things. But one thing I didn't like about The Walking Dead and the way they portrayed things was they didn't have great moms in their show. Lori was a terrible mom. Carol was pretty decent, but she kind of got better after she lost her own kid. And so I wanted to write a book about how moms would deal with zombies. Moms are some of the fiercest, protectors of their kids. And I just felt that there was a whole section of people that were missing during the zombie apocalypse. So I didn't know a lot about writing still. Hadn't planned on a series. I just sat down to write a book about moms and zombies. And by the time I got done with it, I realized I needed to have a book about, their counterparts and spouses. So the next one was Military Against Zombies. And so they became more of a serial kind of story. They're from multiple points of view in each book. It's the same characters throughout, but, you might have the girl's perspective in one or the guy's perspective. Then I went on to add co-eds, churches, geeks against zombies. That was a lot of fun. Farmers, governments, and freedom against zombies kind of wraps it all up. Obviously, the zombie apocalypse is not over in my world, but for this specific set of characters, since I started out with no clue for a series, it just kind of morphed into one. I got to the end and I needed a bad guy to tie it all in with. And I picked one out. And I had a couple of, readers say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming." Well, neither did I, because I had no clue that was going to happen. And about the same time that Mom Against Zombies came out, my daughter was super infatuated with watching the Titanic. And she was like, "Mom, what if there were zombies on the Titanic?" And I know a few other people have kind of played around with that idea in the past. But she was like, "Mom, I want to know more about that." And I was like, "All right, well, if I take this idea and I write this book, are you good with that?" She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, if it pays enough to get you to college, great. And if not, then we just have a story out there." So I watched the Titanic movie and had it on while I worked on this book probably about 50 million times. Just for ambiance and to kind of go, okay, the staterooms are, this big, and, because I knew they did their research and I wanted to do mine. But I also found out a few more interesting facts as I was writing Infected Waters, which is the version of the Titanic. It's alternative history. So in no way portrays the actual, I'm not trying to diss on anyone whose family members were from the Titanic. Just what would happen if it was an alternate reality with zombies. I found out some interesting information. I don't want to give away the fun part of the book. But there was some details on there that were kind of interesting. And so I included those. And it was a lot of fun to write. I don't think my daughter has read it still. She knows about it. It's been several years, but mom wrote a book, so she's probably not going to read it the way teenagers do. But that kind of morphed into, well, what happened to the zombie virus? I mean, did it sink with the Titanic? Did it not? And no, it did not. I made a way for the zombie virus to escape, and it showed up again a few years later in World War One. And then it morphs a little bit more through time and shows up in World War Two. At the moment, the first 3 books in the series have been written. I will also be exploring the Korean War, the Gulf War, and Vietnam. Sorry, not order. And adding my own spin to what would happen if they were actually fighting zombies instead of just the wars that happened and those battles. And kind of brings the zombie virus through history to the point where My Mom's Against Zombies started. So you can read either set of books without it hurting the other, but you will get some references in the Against Zombie series back to some of the origins. And then I wrote the Dead City series, which just finished the last book, and it came out in December. It's about the Rivera family, and they find different strains of the zombie virus because someone has decided to tweak it. So you get blue zombies, blue tinted in Dead in Dallas. And then that's with Erica. And her cousin Lucas is in Dead in Denver. And his zombies are blue. And then Dead in Detroit has the red zombies. And I think I just said those backwards for the first 2. So Dead in Dallas has green zombies. Dead in Denver has blue zombies. And Dead in Detroit has red zombies. Against Zombies has pretty normal zombies. So their main mission in the Dead Cities is not only to protect their families against the zombie virus. In Dead in Denver, Lucas is a military guy, and his cousin is a sharpshooter, who is Elias in Dead in Detroit. And they are just trying to protect their families. But at the same time, they're trying to find the scientist who came up with these mutations, because without those, they won't be able to protect people in the future from getting it, and maybe stop some of the zombies that are just running around killing more people. So there's a few tweaks on that. And so you have Ghost Ship, which will be coming out in the next couple of months. And that is going to connect our alternative history, zombies through history idea, and kind of bring it into the modern age. And that way you can see how the zombie virus just suddenly exploded in the United States. So I wanted to connect the worlds and make it where you could read any set of books and then go back and read, a different series. I have a lot of fun with zombies. They're not exactly fast. They're pretty slow moving, even with the different colors and different things. Blow to the head, bullet to the head, any of that will take them out. Don't get bitten. Some of the normal same zombie tropes that go with zombies. And I really enjoy it. I didn't like horror. I don't like horror. I don't like to watch horror movies. I don't like the intensity of it and knowing what's coming. If I know what genre it is, like say it's a Dracula film, I can normally watch it, but I'm not a fan. I even cover my eyes in some of the Walking Dead scenes. Like, I don't need to see the guy go into the meat grinder. I know how that works. So I'm a reluctant horror writer, but an avid zombie writer now after several years. I really enjoy it. I like not so much about the zombies, but I like what humans will do to survive and how they manage to prep for themselves, use their survival skills. Everybody has different unique things that they can do. I tried to come up with some different weapons in the books. I'm sure I'll come up with more as I, continue the series. At some point, I'll be visiting Louisiana in my series, and then we've got, the voodoo zombie aspect. We've got, the swamps and zombies. So, kind of interested and intrigued to do a few more things with zombies with my characters. So, the few series I have out are not the end, and I encourage you to go pick them up. I have several inbox sets for the Against Zombies. We'll be releasing the audiobooks here over the next couple of months. You can watch them here on YouTube, or once they're released, I'll do a video and point you in the direction of Audible or the different channels they'll be on. You can also follow me on TikTok. I believe it's just Alethea Morgan TikTok. And that way you can find out more about zombie stuff and have a lot of zombie fun. We will be trying to come up with different questions, different things to discuss with the zombie things. I am horrible at math and science, so I had to do research, make sure things check out. And I like to be as accurate as possible. So if you ever catch something that's not accurate, you can let me know. It's an easy fix for some things. I can put it into later updates and versions, because I don't claim to be the zombie know-it-all of the world. I am definitely not. But from my perspective of what zombies are and how it works. And, I always get, well, other people have done all these things, but it's my own stories to tell. And people are different and respond different. So I just like to see how they're going to respond to the zombies as they pop up in their worlds. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.